Hello, happy summer and happy freedom. We're back with our bolder predictions for the July basho. So throw!
Hagaki-Yoi! Throw the salt, get in the ring. Welcome to the Dohyo!
Hello and welcome back to the Dohyo here on Mr JWags channel. We are here with our bolder prediction for the July basho, and I have celebrated with my sort of annual summer do. What do y'all think? First of all, hello to all the new folks. We've had a bunch of new subscribers recently. Welcome. We are so glad you're here. If you have not yet checked out the community tab, I have a question up right now asking you all to contribute questions to my next Hagaki-Yoi, which is a viewer mail segment. So if any of you have any questions about me, about my life, or about Sumo, or about this show, let me know, and I can answer it on the next Hagaki-Yoi. Check it out. Quick non-sumo life update. I am music directing and sound designing a new show at Second City called Second City Presents. It happens Mondays at Second City, New York. We have a special guest every week, and then we improvise based on the things that the special guest does. It starts on July 15th, and our first special guest is author Padma Lakshmi. So if you are in New York, come and check that out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Details, secondcity.com. Now the first bold prediction, Yokozuna Terunofuji will go Kyujo. Yeah, not bold, unfortunately. Terunofuji has not been in the ring very much for the past few years, it feels like. I don't expect Terunofuji to suddenly have like a rush of health near the end of the week. No, I expect him to, if he's not Kyujo at the beginning of the tournament, to be Kyujo by the end of the first week. And my bolder prediction, and this is a little complicated, new Sekiwake Ono Sato will get Kachikoshi. In fact, I think he's going to get over 10 wins, but he will not be in contention for the Yusho, and he will not be an Ozeki after this tournament. I think Ono Sato is going to hold serve this tournament a little bit. First of all, I think he's going to get a bit of the champion hangover. He's been doing a lot of feasting, if I know anything about sumo culture. And I feel like this is going to be the first basho where the field gets to adjust to Ono Sato. His rise has been so fast and so powerful, it's almost been like everyone's just getting a chance to catch their breath about what this new guy is all about. So, now they've had a chance to face him once or twice. Do they have a new strategy going in against this kid? Because this kid is really good. I think that is going to take Ono Sato from about the 12-13 win mark down to about the 10-11 win mark. An excellent tournament to be sure, but I don't think it's going to be considered Ozeki worthy. However, if he does get a 12-3 and either a June Yusho or a Yusho, I'd say they'd consider it. 13 or more wins, I'd say yes, we would have an Ozeki Ono Sato after this tournament. Next bold prediction, Ozeki Hoshoryu and new Ri Komasubi Daisho both get Kachikoshi, but they are not contenders down the stretch. I expect this to be good, not great tournaments for both of these guys. I expect them to be in the 9-10 win range. I don't expect either of them to be in any danger of a losing record, but I just need to see a little more out of Hoshoryu. I know there's another level, but it's not quite there yet. He's just sort of hanging out at 10-5, which is an amazing place to be, but I just don't see it as someone who's going to be winning multiple championships in the near future. Daisho seems to have bounced back from that Makekoshi a few tournaments ago. Forget about that, he's back in the Sanyaku. I think Daisho is going to do well, get a Kachikoshi, but I don't think he's going to have one of his patented 12 win out of nowhere tournaments. I think a little later in the year for that. Bolder prediction, Maegashira 1 Atami Fuji gets a Kachikoshi and makes his Sanyaku debut next tournament. I think it's time. I think we are there for Atami Fuji. I think he is going to get 8 or 9 wins. He's going to get over that hump. I see a lot of people in the Sanyaku and the Joy who I'm not that optimistic about. And I expect at least one, if not multiple Sanyaku members are not going to have a very good tournament, providing ample space for young Atami Fuji to ascend to the Sanyaku for the first time. I think this is the kind of tournament where we're going to have a bunch of like punching bags up in the Joy and Sanyaku. Speaking of which, that brings us to recurring segment 3 Up, 3 Down, where we look at 3 wrestlers who I think are overranked and are not going to do well, and 3 wrestlers I think are underranked and will do very well in the next tournament. First man down, Maegashira 2 Mitake Yumi. Ugh. This hurts a little bit. I do love Mitakeumi, but he has not been the same wrestler as he was when he was making an Ozeki run 2 years ago. Oh my goodness. Now Mitakeumi got promoted very aggressively for a guy who got an 8-7. He started off the last tournament very, very well, got 7 wins, got hurt, and then just really did not do well at the end of the tournament. So first of all, I'm not sure he's healthy, and second of all, even if he is healthy, I don't think he's going to do well up in the Joy. Last time he was ranked up there, he got a 3-12. Next man down, Maegashira 3, Takayasu. I know, it hurts me too. It's just there is word that his hips are not doing very well, and I could easily see this being another tournament, like the last tournament, where he only wrestles like 6 days and he's hurt the rest of the days, but on each of those 6 days, he like destroys another wrestler's hopes of a Yusho. I love him. He's one of my favorite tough guys in sumo, but it's just that the years and the injuries are really, really starting to add up for him. Last man down, Maegashira 16, Bushozan. Now, it's really hard to be down on a guy who's already down at Maegashira 16, but Bushozan has never gotten a Kachikoshi in the top division. This would be his 4th tournament. And in his last 3 attempts, he has gotten 12 wins total. So, I mean, here's hoping he can break the streak, but I am not optimistic about Bushozan. Now for the 3-up, Maegashira 2, Wakamoto Hadu. Now Wakamoto Hadu did not have a great tournament last tournament when Kyujo. He did return mid-tournament, but was not very effective. The fact that he did return tells me that the injury was something that hopefully will be cured with a little bit of rest, and he's had a little bit of opportunity to do that. I'm expecting a full return to form for Wakamoto Hadu. 9 and 6s for all, or at least for Wakamoto Hadu. Next man up, Maegashira 6, Oho. Now, I've been a little tough on Oho recently. He's been up in the Joy facing a lot of Sanyaku recently, and he's been doing okay. 2 tournaments ago, he got 7 wins and a Kenboshi. This last tournament, he got 6 wins. I mean, he's not getting blown out of the water here, but he's clearly not ready to be up at that Sanyaku Joy line yet. But now, down at Maegashira 6, a little bit more of a pillowy, soft area of the Bansukai, I expect him to get a Kachikoshi down here. Last man up, Maegashira 10, Midori Fuji. Oh, I love Midori Fuji, and I was so disappointed when he did not have a great tournament last basho. But he usually does very well when he is ranked down here in like the Maegashira double digits. Last time he was down here, he got a 10-5. Now it's time for the recurring segment, Which Way We Goin'? This is a segment where we look at wrestlers who are at a bit of a crossroads in this tournament, and we discuss which way their career might be going. We start with New Komasubi Hiradoumi. Fans of the channel know that I've been underestimating Hiradoumi for about half a year now, but he just keeps getting Kachikoshi and working his way up the ranks to make his Sanyaku debut at Komasubi. Congrats, dude. I am just always going to be very wary of a human being of that size competing in a sport without weight classes. He has short arms. He does not have a lot of mass. So much of his sumo is dependent on him getting that grip right off of the tachiai. The question is, does he have a plan B, and is that plan B going to be at all effective once everyone sort of figures out his game? I think in a best or even a very good case scenario for Hiradoumi, he can survive up here for a few years, but I don't think we're ever going to see him like dominating or thriving up in the Sanyaku. I just don't see that happening. But I mean, he's probably going to prove me wrong. Again. Next up, Maegashira 12, Asanoyama. Ugh. Yeah, former champion, former Ozeki, and now what is even the true talent level? Like, what are we reasonably expecting of Asanoyama going forward? When healthy, he seems to do pretty well, but when healthy is a huge if. Now, some of you are looking at Asanoyama as a possible dark horse Yusho pick. They're like, oh, he's down in mid-Maegashira. Perhaps he could be that guy who gets like a 12-3 in mid-Maegashira because he has easier people in the first week. How do we know he can do this? Because, well, that's how he got his Yusho. I know so many of us want Asanoyama to do well again and like be Ozeki strength again. I just don't see it happening. Next, Maegashira 3, Gonoyama. The question with him is he ready to hang out up there in the Joy? I'm not expecting a real great Sanyaku this tournament. I'm expecting at least 2 of them to go Kyujo, so this could be a great opportunity for him to work his way upward. I'm just not sure if he's quite ready to do it yet. Last which way, Juryo 13, Hakuoho. Now we know if fully healthy he can dominate, but we also know that he has not been fully healthy in a while. I am hopeful that he will be healthy enough to get a Kachikoshi down there at the bottom of Juryo so he can stay up in the paid ranks, but let's see if the body will let him do that. Next bold prediction, Ozeki Takakeisho does not get 8 wins and in fact falls out of Kataban down to Ozeki Wake. This one hurts me even more than the Takayasu one. Takakeisho is my favorite Rikishi. I just feel like we are getting very close to the end of the Ozeki line with the Battle Hamster. Now, part of this is just horrible, horrible timing in that he tends not to do very well at Nagoya. And when I say he tends not to do well, in that he tends to go Kyujo a lot. Now, since he has made Ozeki, he has been to the Nagoya tournament 5 times, and 4 of them he has gone Kyujo. Unfortunately, I see history repeating itself there. I do see him probably going Kyujo in this tournament and not getting 8 wins. I think the best case scenario is that he cleans up week 1 and then gets his 8 and out like he did 2 tournaments ago. The bolder prediction, Ozeki Wake Kirishima will get Kachikoshi, but will not get to 10. I'm being such a downer this episode. Now, as most of you know, we just finished up our mid-year sumo rankings with our who will be our next Ozeki and who will be our next Yokozuna. And Kirishima I had on the Ozeki rankings because, frankly, I'm worried right now. I mean, it's not going to be a cakewalk up at the top of the Banzuke, and I feel like Kirishima needs to be in amazing form. Now, a lot of you were hitting me up on the comments in the Yokozuna video we just did, saying it's like, yeah, but Kirishima should be our next Yokozuna if he's healthy and on form. And I'm like, yeah, but those are 2 huge ifs for any sumo wrestler, especially one who's coming off 2 really, really bad-looking tournaments. And for a more optimistic bold prediction, Judio 2 and former champion Takeru Fuji gets a Kachikoshi and returns to Makauchi triumphantly. He has started training again, he hasn't started going full, but I am hoping that the bump down to Judio will make things a little bit easier on him and he has enough fighting spirit to get the Kachikoshi this tournament. Come on! May regret that one when the Kyujo comes out in a couple days. And my bolder prediction, a Judio Yusho for Ono Katsu. Yep, the young 24-year-old phenom out of Mongolia had an amazing tournament and a June Yusho last tournament. I think he's going to do it this time and get a 12 or 13 win Judio Yusho. Alright, this brings us to the Yusho pick. Now, the bottom of the Banzuke is really interesting to me right now because the lowest part of the Banzuke seems to be almost exclusively populated by former Makuuchi wrestlers who dropped down to Judio and now have come back somewhat triumphantly. My final bold prediction is that a double-digit Maegashira will be in contention all the way into the final weekend. And my sort of side guess? It's gonna be Wakataka Kage. Wakataka Kage looked amazing in the last tournament, a 14-1 Judio Yusho. He looks completely healed. He's still 29. I think he's going to do very well this tournament. Double-digit wins for Wakataka Kage. And the Yusho pick, drum roll please. Well, we've talked about every other Ozeki. I'm going with Ozeki Kotozakura is going to get a 13-2 Yusho. Now, Kotozakura is big and strong and heavy, and it is going to be hot and wet in Nagoya for the next 2 weeks. But I think this is the tournament where he finally makes his move and gets his very first Yusho. Thank you for joining us here on the Dohyo. Please like and subscribe if you have not. That just tells the algorithm that everybody wants to watch the Dohyo. And hit me up in the comments. Let me know if you agree with all of the boldness I have thrown at you at high velocity. Stay tuned to the channel. We will be doing all of our mid-basho quick strikes, and we will be doing our recap at the end, and you're not going to want to miss that. So, everyone, stay safe, stay strong, stay healthy, and I will see you next time on the Dohyo.